Ever wondered what makes your heart race when you're nervous or how your body knows when it's time to grow? The answer lies in a fascinating world within our bodies, the world of hormones. Hormones are like tiny chemical messengers coursing through our bloodstream, transmitting vital signals that regulate a vast array of bodily functions. They're secreted by a network of glands known as the endocrine system, and they play a pivotal role in maintaining the body's equilibrium or homeostasis. Now let's try to comprehend the sheer diversity in their functions, from triggering growth in children to regulating metabolism, from controlling our sleep-wake cycle to managing our response to stress. Hormones are involved in almost every facet of our physiological activities. For instance, consider the adrenaline rush you experience when you're startled or in danger. That's the hormone adrenaline preparing your body for a fight or flight response. Or think about the growth spurts in teenagers. That's the handiwork of the growth hormone promoting the development of bones and muscles. Then there's insulin, a hormone that's critical in regulating our blood sugar levels. It acts like a key, unlocking our body's cells so they can take in the sugar from the food we eat and use it for energy. Without insulin, our body wouldn't know what to do with all that sugar in our bloodstream. And let's not forget about the hormones that manage our reproductive system. The estrogen and progesterone in women and testosterone in men not only play a role in sexual development and function, but also influence our mood and even our bone health. So you see, hormones are like the unseen conductors of an orchestra, directing every instrument, every note to create the symphony of our body's functions. They're not just a part of our body, they're essential to our very existence. But how do these hormones know when and where to act? What triggers their release? And how do they communicate with our cells? To answer these questions, we need to delve deeper into the fascinating mechanisms of hormone actions. So, hormones are the unseen conductors orchestrating the symphony of our bodily functions. Now, let's delve deeper into how they work. Imagine hormones as keys and our cells as locks. But how does a hormone find the right lock? That's where receptors come into play. Just like keys are designed to fit into specific locks, hormones are designed to fit into specific receptors. These receptors are located either on the surface or inside our cells. Picture a hormone as a spacecraft, cruising through the bloodstream until it finds its docking station, the receptor. Hormones are chemical messengers produced by our endocrine glands, and they travel through our bloodstream to tissues or organs. They work slowly over time and affect many different processes like growth and development, metabolism, sexual function, reproduction, and mood. Receptors, on the other hand, are large proteins on the surface or inside cells. They have a specific shape that allows a specific hormone to bind to them. The hormone receptor complex is like a key inserted into a lock, which then triggers a specific response in the cell. Now let's delve a bit deeper. The hormone action begins when the hormone binds to the receptor. It's like turning the key in a lock. This action activates the receptor, causing it to perform a specific task within the cell. This task can be anything from making more proteins, changing the shape of the cell, or even telling the cell to divide and multiply. The science behind hormone actions is fascinating and complex. These actions are crucial to our body's growth, development, and overall function. They are like the conductors of an orchestra, directing all the different parts of our bodies to work in harmony. Hormones and receptors are an intricate pair, working together to maintain the balance and function of our bodies. They're like dance partners, each knowing their part and moving in sync with the other. This dance of hormones and receptors is happening in your body right now, orchestrating the symphony of your bodily functions. Hormones and receptors, a match made in our bodies, paving the way for a cascade of actions. You've seen a domino effect, right? One piece topples, setting off a chain reaction. The mechanisms of hormone actions are somewhat similar. So let's dive into the world of hormones and how they communicate their messages to the cells and organs in our bodies. It's a fascinating journey that starts with a hormone being released into the bloodstream. From there, it travels until it finds a cell with the right receptor. Think of it as a lock and key scenario. The hormone, or the key, fits into the receptor, the lock, and voila, we have a match. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Once the hormone has locked into the receptor, it triggers a process called signal transduction. Imagine it as a relay race where the baton is passed from one runner to the next. In this case, the baton is the message from the hormone, and the runners are a series of molecules within the cell. Each molecule alters the next in some way, passing along the message until it reaches the final destination, the part of the cell that will respond to the hormone's message. Often this response involves the production of second messengers. These are molecules that amplify the hormone's message like a shout in a canyon that echoes and grows louder. These second messengers can trigger a variety of responses within the cell, from changing the cell's metabolism to initiating the production of new proteins. The journey of a hormone doesn't end there, though. After triggering the cellular response, it gets broken down and removed from the body. It's a short but important trip, setting off a domino effect that influences everything from our growth and development to our mood and energy levels. This domino effect within our cells drives the myriad of functions hormones perform. But where does it all start? In the realm of hormones, the relationship between the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland holds center stage. The hypothalamus, often referred to as the body's control center, is a small region of the brain located just above the brainstem. It plays a pivotal role in maintaining the body's internal balance, or homeostasis, by regulating a wide array of bodily functions, including temperature, thirst, hunger, and even our sleep-wake cycle. Now let's talk about the pituitary gland, a pea-sized structure that sits just below the hypothalamus. It's often called the master gland because it controls the activity of most other hormone-secreting glands. But here's the twist. The pituitary itself is under the control of the hypothalamus. So how does this relationship work? The hypothalamus sends signals to the pituitary gland in the form of releasing or inhibiting hormones. These hormones travel through a small blood vessel system known as the hypothalamic-pituitary portal system. Once they reach the pituitary gland, they either stimulate or suppress the release of pituitary hormones. For instance, when the hypothalamus releases thyrotropin-releasing hormone, it triggers the pituitary to produce and secrete thyroid-stimulating hormone, which in turn stimulates the thyroid gland to produce its hormones. On the other hand, if the hypothalamus releases somatostatin, it inhibits the release of growth hormone from the pituitary. This intricate communication system allows the hypothalamus to control the secretion of hormones from the pituitary gland, and consequently, the functioning of other endocrine glands as well. It's a complex dance of signals and responses that ensures our bodies function seamlessly. So, the next time you feel thirsty or hungry, remember that it's your hypothalamus and pituitary gland working behind the scenes, ensuring your body's needs are met. The hypothalamus and the pituitary, a dynamic duo governing the endocrine orchestra. But what's the role of the pituitary itself? Often termed as the master gland, the pituitary has a pivotal role in the endocrine system. Nestled at the base of the brain, this pea-sized powerhouse secretes a medley of hormones, each with a unique role, each as vital as the other. Let's start with the anterior pituitary, the larger of the two lobes. It's a factory of hormones: growth hormone, thyroid-stimulating hormone, adrenocorticotropic hormone, prolactin, luteinizing hormone, and follicle-stimulating hormone. They may sound like a mouthful, but each one is an integral part of the body's symphony. Growth hormone, as the name suggests, plays a key role in growth and metabolism. Thyroid-stimulating hormone does exactly what it says on the tin. It stimulates the thyroid gland to produce thyroid hormones, key players in metabolism, growth, and development. Adrenocorticotropic hormone, on the other hand, is the taskmaster for the adrenal cortex, stimulating the production of cortisol, a hormone that helps the body respond to stress. Now let's shift our focus to the posterior pituitary. Unlike its anterior counterpart, it doesn't produce hormones. Instead, it acts as a storage and release site for two hormones made in the hypothalamus: oxytocin and vasopressin. Oxytocin, often dubbed the love hormone, plays a crucial role in childbirth and breastfeeding, while vasopressin, also known as the antidiuretic hormone, regulates water balance in the body. In the grand scheme of things, these hormones function as the conductors of the body's orchestra. They regulate growth, metabolism, stress response, water balance, and reproduction, among other things. Each one, though small in size, has a colossal impact on our bodies and our daily lives. From growth to reproduction, the pituitary hormones have widespread roles, making this gland a master indeed. This is why the pituitary, despite its diminutive size, is often at the center of endocrine research, and understanding its functions paves the way for a better understanding of the intricate workings of the human body.